All right, let's get into the real story of C Connect. Now, this is not going to be one of those shiny, perfect startup stories you always hear. This is about the messy middle. It's about struggle, and it's about how a really simple idea can get a second chance in a way you'd never expect.
And it really all kicks off with this quote. I mean, this tells you everything. Before there was any talk of data privacy or compliance toolkits, it was just two law students who wanted to help other students learn. The company's soul wasn't born in a boardroom, it was born in a law school library.
So let's rewind all the way back to the very beginning. The mission, it was super simple. And honestly, it came from a place of real personal frustration. Just teach the stuff we wish someone had taught us.
And this is where it all started. Not with some huge business plan, but with this tiny website, docconnects.xyz. The .xyz part kind of says it all, right? This was literally built by students for students while they were trying to figure out their own careers. Talk about relatable.
So, what was this thing? Well, it was basically a lifeline for law students. It had easy-to-understand legal blogs, it listed internships, it had career guides. They were even doing free mentoring and busting all those weird myths you hear about the legal field. It was all about making a confusing world a little bit clearer.
So way before they were even thinking about products or services, the core DNA was already there, set in stone: education and empowerment. And that's the thread you're going to see run through this whole story.
Okay, on to the next chapter, what they actually call the messy experiment. This is where things start to get a lot more ambitious and, well, a whole lot more complicated. It was this mix of half tech, half heart, all driven by that same urge to help. So this experiment, it had a name, CK Job Opportunist. And the goal was massive, to become the ultimate matchmaker for the entire legal world. They were trying to do it all: coaching students, doing mock interviews, and even making personal introductions to recruiters.
The dream was huge, right? To be the go-to matchmaker for law. But the reality? Oh, it was messy. Think about it. They were trying to manually match hundreds of student profiles with what recruiters wanted. It was just a total operational nightmare. It was raw, it was passionate, but it just could not scale. A really tough lesson that a great idea isn't always a great business.
And on top of all that, the world outside was just chaos. We're talking the post-COVID job market. Companies slammed the brakes on hiring, students were completely burned out, and the momentum for this dream just fizzled out. But here's the thing about failure, right? It's usually not the end. It's the start of something else. And this led to a much-needed pause, a time to think, and then a huge pivot, because sometimes things have to totally fall apart before you can build them back up the right way. So this timeline kind of gives you the whole story at a glance. It all kicks off in law school with that simple idea: teach what we know. That sparks Connect XYZ for CLAT Coaching. Then you get the job opportunist, that ambitious, messy experiment that just didn't work. That forces this crucial pause, a moment to reflect as their own career started to change. And all of that leads us right here to the rebirth, a brand new mission in a totally new space. Okay, which brings us to the million-dollar question, right? How in the world do you jump from helping students with law school exams to building data privacy and compliance tools? I mean, they seem like they're on different planets.
And the answer, believe it or not, is right here in this quote. It's the exact same mission, just on a different battlefield. As the founders moved into the super complex world of data privacy in their own careers, they hit a new wall of confusion. And that same old feeling, that need to make things simpler, it just came roaring back. We are struggling with this. We have to make it so other people don't have to.
And that, right there, brings us pretty much to today. This is the grown-up version of that little student project, but now it's laser-focused on three things: clarity, courage, and compliance. So today's C-Connect, it's this whole multi-vertical brand. You've got Course Connect, which is training the next wave of privacy pros all over the globe. Then there's Proof Compliant Connect, providing hands-on compliance help for businesses that are totally lost. They're also sharing what they know through e-proof journals and actually building a real community with live events. That tiny little seed that was cconnect.xyz has really grown into a whole forest.
So, why does any of this matter? Why tell this messy origin story at all? Because it shows you that underneath it all, the soul of the company has not changed one single bit.
Yeah, the products are way more sophisticated now and the audience is global, but the core mission is exactly the same. It's still about being that guide, you know? The one holding the flashlight in those super dark, jargon-filled corners. Doesn't matter if it's law school admissions or global data protection laws.
You can pretty much boil this whole story down to 3 simple acts. 1, it started with CLAT. 2, it got knocked down hard. And 3, it stood back up way stronger and with a much clearer purpose than before. It's just a classic story of resilience.
I mean, it's just such a powerful reminder that the best things often start small, they face failure, and that the simplest mission, just wanting to help, can end up being the most powerful one. This isn't the end of the story. Really, it's just the foundation. They're just getting started.